That guy was on a power trip. That's a horrible way to treat someone. Welcome to r/Today I Messed Up, where OB thinks they're helping, but instead they ruin someone's entire day. Yes, I know I got a haircut. You barely saw me before, so just get used to it. It's a long time coming. This next post is by Scar is just as sweet. Today I messed up by getting arrested over 3 pomegranates that a guy thought were apples. Obligatory, this happened on Tuesday, and yes, it's exactly as stupid as it sounds. So I'd been working all day, had soup on the stove, and realized I was out of pomegranates, which are basically the only food my anxiety lets me eat without a full-blown panic attack. The grocery store is 2 streets away, a simple 5-minute walk. Easy, in and out, and then back home to finally relax. I already have so many questions, but we continue. So I stop at the dollar store first to grab my grandfather a Sudoku book and some chocolate. Then I head into Freshco with 2 bags. One dollar store bag, already paid for, 1 empty green reusable bag for groceries. First thing I grab, 3 pomegranates. They're awkward to carry, so I toss them into the green bag and keep shopping. I grab cherries, which I balanced on my fingers, juice boxes, and a Freshco gift card. I check out. I even buy a bag at checkout to put them all in. What do I forget? 3 pomegranates, the only thing in the green bag. So I pay, grab my receipt, and start walking out, fully in go 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 mode because my soup is sweating on my stove at home. Right before the doors, a random guy dressed like a normal shopper steps in front of me and says, "You didn't pay for those apples." Immediately, I'm like, what apples? I don't buy apples. I don't like apples. I don't even think about damn apples. So I'm like, I didn't buy apples. Leave me alone. He insists. I insist. Then suddenly he goes, "That's it. You're under arrest." Like, excuse me? At this point, my brain still hasn't connected apples to pomegranates because 1, they are not apples. 2, I already paid. 3, my brain is fried from the lack of sleep and stress from working all day. Then he points at my bag and it finally clicks. Oh, I forgot to pay for the pomegranates. I'll just go back and pay. Nope, too late. You had intent to steal. I had not left the store. I had not passed the doors. I was still in the little area before leaving the store. Doesn't matter now because I'm now a hardened criminal. I guess he got intimidated by the tattoos and black hair. He escorts me to the back room, reads me my rights, which I later learn he legally should not have done, tells me I'm being charged with theft under $5,000 and says I'm going to jail. Over 3 pomegranates. So there I am panicking, straight into fight or flight, thank you anxiety. I start shaking, crying, I throw up on the floor, stuck trying to call my veteran grandfather who I look after, who is waiting for me at home, while also thinking about my soup probably setting on fire at home. They tell me the police are on the way. They are not. I sit there for 4 hours. 4 hours. The store closes at 10 p.m. It's 9:30. Police finally call and tell the loss prevention guy they're not coming tonight and to just release me. So they do, but not before trespassing me from the store for a year. I've been going to this store since I was 12 years old, where I shop multiple times a week, where the owner literally custom ordered items for me. Now here's the kicker, folks. So the guy thought they were apples, eh? Apples are $1 each, and pomegranates are $4.50 each, on sale $2, so he thought I was stealing 3 apples worth $3. Wow. The store didn't need to do that. That guy was on a power trip. What is his problem, man? I don't know why he did that. He just kind of sucks, I think. Even if you were, it's $3. Like, come on. That's a horrible way to treat someone. Especially considering in the comments here, OP says they spoke with the owner, and this is what they had to say. I spoke with the owner and he said he is the person who gives the bans, but only by the reports the loss prevention gives them, and that he won't do anything else except come back in a year. That's insane. Are you serious? They know you personally. They custom ordered items for you and this is how they treat you? Do not go back there. That's crazy. You didn't even steal what they said you stole either. There should be something against that. This next post is by Frog Stinky. Today I messed up by slapping a bearded man's ass because he was dressed like my wife. This happened yesterday. My wife was wearing this obnoxious neon orange North Face puffer jacket. It's the kind of jacket you can see from a different zip code. Or, you know, in that big Drake meme that everyone knows about. We were at Target and she went to the candle aisle while I headed to electronics. I finished up, walked towards the candles, and spotted the back of that orange jacket leaning over a bottom shelf. Being the funny husband, I decided to sneak up, gave a solid, playful, good game slap on the butt, and whispered, "Found you, nerd." The person stood up. It was not my wife. It was a muscular man with a full beard wearing the exact same neon jacket. I froze. My hand was literally still hovering in midair. He just looked at me deadpan and said, "I mean, it's a nice jacket, but maybe check for the beard next time." I didn't even apologize. My brain just short-circuited. I did a 180 and walked straight out of the store. I didn't even wait for my wife or the stuff we were supposed to buy. 10 minutes later, I got a text from her. I saw the whole thing from the next aisle. "I'm not coming out until I stop crying laughing. Have fun with your new boyfriend." Edit/update for those who are asking. Rip my inbox. I didn't expect this to blow up. For those asking how the guy knew about the jacket, this thing is eye-searing. Neon orange that you could probably see from orbit. When he turned around and saw my face going through the 5 stages of grief, he looked past me and saw my wife standing about 10 feet away. Since she was wearing the exact same human traffic cone outfit, he instantly put 2 and 2 together. He actually pointed at the jacket and then hers while shaking his head, like he couldn't believe his bad luck in picking that specific color today. This is amazing. I feel like these jackets aren't that uncommon. I guess I've never really seen it, but surely they can't be that rare that you would just assume, but maybe they are, I guess. As this comment says here, the fact that your wife witnessed it is what makes this something special, and I totally agree. It's one thing to do this, but for her to be able to watch the whole thing is amazing. This next post is by Standard Reporter. This literally happened, and I feel so dumb I had to post it. I was in bed around midnight, just scrolling reels half asleep, when one of my earbuds fell out. I felt it fall. Did I look for it right away? Nope. I was like, let me just finish these last few videos. Already my fault. A few minutes later, I go to grab it and it's just gone. Like actually gone. I rip the blankets off, throw pillows around, check my hoodie, my neck, under the bed, everywhere. Nothing. This earbud has entered another dimension. So I decide to be smart and play one of those lost earbud finder videos on YouTube that does that annoying high-pitched sound. Oh wow, I've never actually heard of that. Except my phone decides to act stupid and play the sound through both the phone speaker and the earbuds. This is where everything goes downhill. I start walking around the house and can hear this faint beeping sound literally everywhere. Bedroom, yep. Hallway, yep. Kitchen, even louder. The sound is following me. I'm genuinely confused and kind of mad at this point. I end up in the kitchen and lean over the trash can because maybe it fell in there earlier when I grabbed a snack. The sound gets really loud, like right in my head. I'm standing there in the dark, staring at a half-eaten apple thinking, there's no way I'm about to dig through trash at 1 AM. Then I notice something weird. The sound only gets louder when I bend my head down. At this point, I'm tired and annoyed, so I go back to my room and rip my shirt off out of frustration. And guess what? The earbud is just there, stuck to the back of my shirt. It fell down my neck and got caught on a loose thread. The reason it sounded louder near the trash was because I was literally bending my neck closer to my own back. I spent an hour walking around my house stalking myself. I was the source of the sound the whole time. Good job, OP. What a waste of time. In fairness, maybe that'll teach you not to doom scroll over finding the thing that you knew you lost. I'm glad you found it because you did need to find it, but yeah, maybe don't doom scroll through that next time. Maybe just grab it immediately. This next post is by Scarecrow. I'm in Chicago doing some work. My wife is with me and stuck in a boring hotel room much of the day. So after work, I took her to a nearby mall to get her out of that room for a bit. Walking through the mall, my stomach suddenly started cramping severely. I almost bent over in agony. It would ease for a few steps, then come back. I told my wife that I needed to find a restroom quickly. Despite having to stop and grab my stomach every few steps, I eventually reached the restrooms. I quickly got into a stall and proceeded to empty my bowels. However, this was no ordinary toilet experience. Perhaps it was the hotel breakfast, or maybe it was the Mexican food from a couple of days prior. We may never know. But what we can be sure of is that something was not right. What followed is sufficient evidence that no purely good and all-powerful God can exist. No good deity with the power to prevent it would allow such a world where what happened in that restroom was possible. Every other person cleared out. Some people came in and turned around. The smell was so horrid I almost had to vomit. If you're ever quickly released the air from a balloon, you're familiar with the sound that enveloped the restroom. Only imagine it was the Goodyear blimp being released instead. I'm pretty sure I saw paint peeling off the door to the stall. Every time I thought I was finished, it started again. I don't know what horrible things I must have done in a prior life, but certainly I was being punished for it now. After a good 15 minutes of hell that made my prior colonoscopy prep seem like a trip to Disney World, I was finally finished. I stood up and the automatic flush system on the toilet did its magic, flushing the toilet with immense force. The force was so strong that it forced water outside of the porcelain bowl straight up into the air. Before I could react, the watery mess from the toilet covered me like a stinky brown bouquet scene you might find in an adult film. I cleaned up the best way I could in a public restroom. It was made a little easier because by this point nobody was coming in that bathroom. When I came out, my wife didn't even want to be near me anymore. I think she may be contemplating divorce. I brought permanent shame on my family. My ancestors are likely being evicted from heaven for having had me in their bloodline. Shame on you, OP. But for real though, that must have sucked. Damn man, you've gone through some stuff. You should go get a new body. All will be well soon, child. This first post is by Call Me Miss T. I thought we won the free hot dog lottery. It was a huge mistake. When I was maybe 12, I went to an outdoor fair with my best friend and her family. You had to get tickets for food, so BFF and I each got a hot dog ticket. We ordered our hot dogs and then realized the sweet old lady serving in the food tent didn't take the tickets. We went back again and tested our luck. We each got a second hot dog and the lady still didn't take the ticket. No, the fair was packed and the food tent had at least 4 or 5 ladies on each side of the tent. Picture a large tent with a long counter on each of the 4 sides. It was the right amount of confusion, so they didn't even remember us coming back. In our 12-year-old minds, we had won the free hot dog lottery. We would keep going back and hit a different side each time. Needless to say, we each ate about 6 or 7 hot dogs before we started to feel nauseous. Ended up not being able to enjoy any rides or attractions at the fair, and couldn't even stomach any of the treats like cotton candy, etc. We had cold sweats and I'm sure at least one of us threw up at some point. Worst decision I ever made. I couldn't eat a hot dog again for years after that. Just thinking of it made me gag. If you're wondering how we got away with this, other people were just outright handing them the tickets and they took them. We kept them in our hands, distracted by adding the toppings, etc., and then just moved off. If you didn't initiate the ticket giving, they didn't ask. Wow, that's kind of cool. So I'm guessing the mess up is by eating too many hot dogs. Scamming the system like that, especially when it's like a fair, that's kind of awesome. They usually get so much money from things like that. Just maybe don't make yourself sick next time. This was r/today I messed up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out some other videos on the channel. If you agreed or disagreed with anything I said, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button below, because I post new Reddit content every single day.